Check, check, check. 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 There we go. Okay. Don't know why that happens. We got sound now. The sound is okay. Great. Thanks, Amy. Why don't I play a song while people come on in? Like everyone she knows, she's holding out for true love, waiting on an answer, ready for a change. And everywhere she goes, she's just a little bit on the lookout. A day might be tomorrow, the question still remains. It's not that she's so sad, she always was a happy soul. Lately she gets to wonder to herself, what's the good of going on anymore? I see her in her room, sitting by the window, wondering if she's pretty, feeling just a little small tonight. She thinks of going home, giving up on the city, maybe moving back down to Mobile. It's not that far to fall. I know she won't see me, but I might just say anyhow, if I could be right there right now, as I myself was told. Hold tight to your heart's desire, never ever let it go. Let nobody fool you into giving it up too soon. Tend your own fire, lay low and be strong. Wait a while, wait it on out, wait it out, let it come along. Oh, wait a while. I know she won't see me, but I might just say anyhow, if I could be right there right now, as I myself was told. Hold tight to your heart's desire, never ever let it go. And let nobody fool you into giving it up too soon. Tend your own fire, lay low and be strong. Wait a while. right. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, or good evening, or good morning, wherever you are. Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks, Diego. Hello, Radislav. Hello, Amy. By the way, I love your videos. I always check on them. That's so nice. Thank you. And you seem so humble and nice. Thank you. So it always makes my day. Oh, that is so warming, heartwarming to me. I do really love making these videos and getting to know you all through these streams and through the comments. So it's nice to know. Hello, Julia. Julia is a wonderful supporter. So thanks for that. Radoslav, your first time I caught you live. Perfect. All right. And I appreciate the warm comments here. Thanks, Angelica. During lock time, more time for guitar. Yeah, totally. Well, I'm glad people are on here and having a nice day. Hopefully you're enjoying the weekend here. I've actually got some afternoon gigs today and tomorrow, so I thought I would fit in a live stream before these afternoon gigs. Things are starting to open up a little bit where I am in Colorado, so they have this outdoor venue called The Lyric in Fort Collins, and I'm playing bass, believe it or not. You know, I'll take it. You know, I'll take the work. So I'm playing bass for a trio, actually with a good friend today, and then a different group tomorrow. It's a nice local gig. But yeah, that song was called Like Everyone She Knows by James Taylor. And if you know my channel, you know that I like James Taylor. And I actually have a lesson on both the intro and the whole song. So you can check that out if that was a song you like. I think I did the intro. I think the intro was one of my first videos and almost a year ago now. Second or third video I ever did here. Just so beautiful. So, I've got a nice little set for us today and also a lesson on circle of fifths. So, why don't we jump right in, right? Might as well. Smash the like. I know some YouTubers say smash the like. Just give a thumbs up if you have a moment. And subscribe if you haven't already. This channel is relatively new, so every little thumbs up and every little comment or subscription really helps a lot, because it's YouTube seems to like those things. So thanks for your support. So what is the circle of fifths? Let's talk about it. And I want to not only break it down with guitar, but I also want to break it down with how to practice this, right? Because a lot of people will teach music theory on the piano, and we'll talk about why. And we'll talk about why that's more clear and more visually appealing on the piano. And then we'll talk about how to see it on the guitar, because it's not enough to just have a music theory class where someone's on piano and then that's it, right? You want to apply it to guitar. So I'm going to kind of do both. And then I want to tell you how to practice going through all 12 keys, because it is possible. Don is asking, what is that is being played? Well, this is a Taylor, if that's your question. It's a 714 CE. So really nice sound, right? All right, so let's dive in. It's not going to be the most easy thing if you're new to music theory. So I'm just going to do my best to make it clear. Hey Patrick, hey everybody. So you have the key of C. Now, why do we start with C? We start with C because it's all the white notes of a piano. And what we mean by all the white notes is all natural notes. Okay? C, D, E, F, G, A, B. So music is a language, and it suits us to think of music as a language. So let's consider the language we have. We have 7 letters. That's all we have. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. However, let's think of it from C to B. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B. So there are 12 notes in a chromatic scale. 12 notes is all we have, unless you're dealing with Indian music or other music, that has semitones. But for 90% of the music we all listen to or more, think of it as 12 notes. So if there's 7 letters, we have 12 notes because of flats and sharps. So for instance, B flat, C sharp, whatever. Now, so it's important to notice where the half steps are. The half steps will save you as far as understanding music theory. All right. So where are the half steps in a major scale? Or where are the half steps in a C major scale? Okay, and this is an interaction, so let me know if you'd like to answer. All right. So the half steps are from the E to F and B to C, meaning there's no flat or sharp in between E or F. There's no flat or sharp between B or C. So that's why it's all white keys, because when we play a C major scale, we're skipping the black notes every time there's a whole step. C to D, we skip the C sharp and or D flat. C sharp and D flat are the same note. So we skip the black note there for a whole step, skip the black note from D to E. Now we get to E to F, and in the major scale, the 3rd and 4th degrees, there's a half step. Now, conveniently on the keyboard, which you can't really see that well, there is no black key in between the E and F. So that's why there's no flats or sharps in the key of C so far. When we go up to F, F to G, G to A to B, all black keys in between. Then B to C, no black key in between, and it's a half step. So between 3 and 4 and 7 and 8, we've got our half steps. Now that might seem a little overly theoretical, but it's really important moving forward, because I want to break down how the circle of fifths work, how key signatures work, because a lot of teachers will just straight up avoid it, right? They'll think, let's just have fun and play guitar, and I'm all about that. But we also want to understand music theory on the guitar, and it's doable. It's definitely doable. So, key of C, all natural notes. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Now, one approach you could take is to memorize the key of C everywhere, right? So we've got open position, meaning using open strings. Then we have all our 5 positions of caged. Here's the C shape. So by C shape I mean the C bar chord moved up to the key of C. Then I can play my major scale. And I'm only playing these notes. I'm playing no flats or sharps. Okay, so that's something you can do. Maybe if you have some time this weekend, try to learn the key of C everywhere. I know it's easier said than done. But when you do that, you're playing only the white keys of a piano, and that's what we want to do. We want to transfer our guitar visual to the piano, so it's only white keys. All right, so that's one thing you can do. Now, as soon as you go to a different key, so if we think about the circle of fifths, you can type in circle of fifths online, and you'll see this circle, and you'll see clockwise going from C to G. So let's start there. I do want to talk about the other direction, so stick around for that. But I think this is important to start clockwise, because this is how music theory is taught in college. Hey, Julia. All right. Good to see you on here. Yeah, and hi, Patrick. So if you have circle of fifths, that means that from C, we want to go to the fifth. Now, it's one thing to just memorize the circle, the wheel of fifths, but it's another to figure that out on the guitar. We can find the fifth from C just by playing the C chord. The fifth is already in this chord. If I simply play C, E, G, what is a chord, right? It's 3 notes. It's the 1, 3, 5. So the 5 is in this chord. It's 1, 3, 5. So here's the 5. It's G. So now if I can move to the 5th by simply finding the 5 in the C chord. So I found the 5th. It's G. Now I'm in the key of G. Now we add an F sharp, and the quick trick I'll show you is that if you want to go through the circle of fifths, you simply add a sharp, the letter below the next key. So the next key from C is G. We add the letter below as a sharp. What's the letter below G? F. Okay, so we add F sharp to the key signature. And we can see that because when we play a major scale, here's an F sharp. Okay. Now it's one thing to understand that, because that's going to continue. Well, before I even break it down, let's go to the next key. What's the 5 of G? So we can go to the next circle of fifth key. G, B, D. There's the 5th. So that's our next key. So let me ask you, what's the letter below D that we add as a sharp? All right. Just want to make sure, we interact as much as possible. Letter below D, what sharp do we add? Okay, we add C sharp. So now we have two sharps, F sharp and C sharp. And we know to add C sharp because it's the letter below D. I'll explain why in a sec. All right, what's the 5th of D? It's A. You can also find the 5th in a power chord. Yeah, good, Julia, exactly. Hello, Francois. Nice to see you. So the 5th of D is A. So now the next key is A. The letter below A is, this is all way too advanced for me. Okay. Well, that's okay. Just hang in there. Music theory is something that takes years. But the more you expose yourself to it, I think the better off you are. You don't have to understand everything immediately right away. So hopefully this is still helpful. So the 5th of D is A. And I can find that in a power chord. There's the 5th. That's an A. So now I'm in the key of A. And the 7th, the letter below A is G. So I add G sharp. So can we remember all the sharps we have? We've got F sharp, C sharp, and now G sharp. What's the 5th of A? The 5th of A is E. So if the 5th of A is E, the E is our next key. And what do we add below the E? We add the letter below as a new sharp, which is D sharp. And it's funny because some people, I've studied music in college for about 11 years, right? I'm getting my doctorate this semester. And a lot of people have memorized the circle of fifths and the key signature without understanding this simple trick that you can add the sharp of the letter below. So, like I just said, key of E, we add D sharp. Now we've got F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and then finally D sharp. It just keeps going, right? Next would be B, etc. Why do we add the sharp? That's the next goal to answer, because it's not always the best idea to just memorize only without understanding, right? And my goal is to help you understand. I want to make life easier, not harder. And sometimes we want to understand why these things happen. So let's go backwards. Let's go back to C. And let's think about how there's no sharps or flats, but we have a half step between the 3 and the 4 and the 7 and 8. Okay. The 7 and 8 is what I want you to consider. Between B and C is a half step. Has to be a half step. It's called the leading tone, right? Da, da. Sing this stuff as much as you can because you want to train your ears. So, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So the leading tone is T right before do, or 7 right before 8, whatever. Now, when we go to the key of G, look what happens. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. T, or 7, is now F sharp. That's why we change the key signature. That's why we add F sharp, because we need the leading tone to be a half step from G. We need the leading tone to be one fret away from G. So if we were to not sharp the F and keep the notes of C major, we would have what's called a G Mixolydian mode. Now, great scale, but it's not really G major anymore. It's now a different mode. Does that make sense? So in order to have the leading tone a fret down from the root, here's the root of G, here's a fret down, we need to sharp the F. And that's why we have the key signature of F sharp in the key of G. Now, right away, if you understand that, then when you're playing G major scales, just notice the F sharp. There it is, because we don't have the black keys like a piano does. But we can notice the F sharp when they come, because it's only one sharp in the key of G. There's the F sharp right there. Right there. So it's going to be harder to see this on the guitar, but it is possible. Nice new haircut. Thanks, Jonathan. Yeah. It was getting a little long. I love long hair, but I also like short hair, so I like both. Is it wrong that I just listened to play songs without learning any theory ever? No, it's not wrong. No, absolutely not. The thing about theory is that the theory comes after the music. So you have these songs that are written from the heart, that are written from what your ear likes, and then the theory can come in and you can train yourself to recognize these things so that you can hear it quicker, you can write songs, you can learn songs by ear. But no, theory will never hurt you. That's to answer your question, Brazer. Theory will only help you learn things faster and write things quicker. All right. So that's a little introduction. There's a lot more to come, but I just went through the circle of fifths and I added a sharp for each key. So the two things to remember from what I just said is the sharp is the letter before the next key. So from C to G, G is the new key, we add F sharp because it's the letter before G. I learned that in elementary school when I played flute as a 10-year-old, and I had just the best teacher. My first instrument was flute, and our band teacher told us that trick, and it stuck with me ever since I was 10 years old. And I just turned 36, so quite a while ago now. But I've remembered that trick ever since, that the letter before the new key is the new sharp. The second thing to remember is that the reason we add the sharp is because we need a half step between T and Do, or 7 and 8, the leading tone and the root. Okay. So if you're practicing C major, if you're practicing G major, D major, A major, E major, you want to notice that leading tone and notice that sharp. Okay? And now when you see a key signature of D major and you see F sharp and C sharp, you'll know why. Because the F sharp is added from G and the C sharp is added from D. Am I going too fast? Is it making sense? I'll play a song here and then we'll dive into some deeper layers of music theory here. And tell me how you're doing. Tell me how the weekend's going and what you've been practicing. Are there any songs that you're learning from my channel right now? I'd love to hear about that. The Led Zeppelin Going to California video is doing pretty well, which is nice. Hopefully some of you are enjoying that one. I know it's a little advanced. And then yesterday I did Pink Floyd Friday, Astronomy Domine. I realize it's probably not everyone's cup of tea, but it's like early Pink Floyd stuff, kind of psychedelic. So let me know what you're listening to, what you're learning, what you're practicing, and feel free to say hello. So, what's next here? All right. Let me play Honky Tonk Woman by Rolling Stones. Sorry about this. Let me. I don't want to sing the second verse. Give me one moment. I met a gin-soaked barroom queen in Memphis. There it is. All right. Thank you. Just needed that moment there. I met a gin-soaked barroom queen in Memphis. She had to take me upstairs for a ride. Lady, then she covered me in roses. Then she blew my nose and then she blew my mind. There's a honky-tonk woman. Give me the honky-tonk blues. I met a divorcee in New York City. I had to put up some kind of a fight. And then hit me right over the shoulder. But I just can't seem to drink you off my mind. Yeah. It's the honky-tonk women. Give me the honky-tonk blues. It's the honky-tonk women. Give me the honky-tonk blues. Okay. So, Julia says she's still working on Helplessly Hoping. That's okay. It's a tough one, and I will say that I was pretty exact with Stephen Still's part. So, Helplessly Hoping is tough because he really had a tough arrangement there. So take your time, Julia. Glad you're working on that. Jonathan, still trying to sing while playing Hotel California. Yeah, the strumming pattern makes it a bit hard. Yeah. Good. Well, doing it slow, that's always what I recommend to my private students. So you're doing the right thing by going nice and slow. Hotel California, such a classic to learn, so everyone can check that out if they'd like to. Radislav says, trying to go through Travis picking. Yeah. Unfortunately, there is a fuse burning on my head while adding those off. Yeah, off-time notes. I gotcha. My mom started singing as well. Oh, good. Oh, cool. Well, I'm glad that people are joining in here. Sorry for this messy message. Autocorrection is delegating my language skills. Okay, that's all right. Besides Helplessly, I'm trying to understand these scales, lessons, minor, major. Yeah, that's stuff that, or Lydian. Yeah, those are things that can take years to fully wrap your head around and to use. So my goal is to introduce these things and give you guys things to do and things to work on for the future, right? Not just for a day. So thanks for checking in with me and letting me know what you're up to. And for anyone here right now, you can check out the Patreon as well. Got about 50 plus tabs up there, mostly for the $2 level and $2 a month. And it's such a small channel that every Patreon or every patron helps a lot. So thank you all to those who are on there. There's a few of you I recognize that are already on there, like Julia and Jonathan and a few others. So thank you. Now, what else? So, how do we practice this stuff? Well, I mentioned a few things. You can basically do start with the major scale, right? And you do the major scale in C. Notice the notes are all natural notes, no flats or sharps. Go to the circle of fifths by finding the fifth of C, which is G. Then notice just one note difference is F sharp. It's the letter before. So I already talked about that. But let me throw a curveball. What else can we do with the circle of fifths? And it may surprise you. We can go backwards to the circle of fourths. All right? Are there any jazz musicians out there? Because you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, what do I mean by this? Now, I'm horribly out of tune because I've been bending notes like Rolling Stones style here. There we go. Now, what do I mean by the circle of fourths? Well, if you look at the circle of fifths wheel, if you go clockwise, you'll notice that it goes C to G to D, right? The fifth of each note. If you go the other way, you'll notice that it's circle of fourths from C to F. Okay, if we go to the the fourth of C, you'll arrive at F here. All right, and then if you go to the fourth of F, you'll arrive at B flat. Now, so if we go the opposite way, we're going the circle of fourths. All right, and for one thing, it's important to understand that a fifth interval and a fourth interval is totally findable on the guitar. The fifth is usually 2 frets away, 1 string over. The fourth is actually the same fret next string over. And sometimes we can play guitar for years and not even realize that. The guitar is tuned in fourths, besides the G and B strings, besides the second and third strings. But the guitar is tuned in fourths, meaning I can get a fourth just by going down the next string, same fret. Here's an F. The fourth of F, guess what? Same fret, next string over. Fourth of B flat, guess what? Same fret, next string over, etc. When we get, here's A flat, when we get to the third string going to the second string, we have to add a fret because it's major third. It's tuning to major third. So there's the fourth. But then it's same fret, next string for every other string. All right, so I just went actually through all 12 keys there, by the way. I'm back at C. So I did it by going to the same fret next string. So that's how you find the fourth. You find the fifth by going 2 frets over. Right? Okay, now, when we go through the circle of fourths, we're going counterclockwise. What we do is we add a flat. So it's not as magical as a circle of fifths where we just do the letter before. Like in G, we add F sharp. Circle of fourths is a little less clear as to how it works, but I'll show you how it works. When we go to the key of F, we add B flat. Now B flat happens to be foreshadowing the next key, because guess what the next key is? It's B flat. So we've added B flat to the key of F, which is the first key after C, going circle of fourths. The next key is B flat. We add a flat on the fourth degree, which is E flat, and guess what the next key is? E flat. Is this making sense? So then we add an A flat for the key of E flat, and it happens to be the next key in the circle of fourths. So that's something I also learned from my music teacher when I was playing flute in 4th or 5th grade. It's stuck with me ever since. You have the sharps, the letter before, and you have the flats foreshadowing the next fourth. Why do we add a B flat in the key of F? So key of C, no flats or sharps, key of F. Now we have to add B flat. The reason is, when we go to the 4th note of F major, it has to be B flat, because between A and between the 3rd and 4th note, or mi and fa, do, re, mi, fa, fa has to be, or 4 has to be a half step from 3. So it has to be B flat, because if it was B, it'd actually be a Lydian scale, which I love Lydian. it's a little bit more exotic. And it's not really a major scale anymore, it's a Lydian scale. So, in order for it to be a major scale, we have to make that B flat. And then when I go to B flat, same thing, it's just repeating. In order to make the fourth note a half step away from the third note, do, re, mi, fa, it has to be an E flat. Okay? Am I losing people? Is this making sense? Nice to see you again, Ruchi. Yeah, nice to see you. She's a follower on Instagram and on this channel as well. You can follow me on Instagram, by the way, at MT Guitar Lessons. Or you can check out the Patreon. And remember to hit the thumbs up. All those things really help. So, my next segment here is to tell you how to practice these things. Let's say you know how to play a 1-3-5 arpeggio. Just if you don't know, just write a note and make a goal to learn this. If I do 1-3-5, that's called a 1-3-5 arpeggio in the key of the C major chord. What you want to do is you do that in all 5 positions. Eventually, it takes a while, but you can do it. Then you'd want to move on to circle of fourths. So here's what I mean. There's 1-3-5 in the key of C. All right. Now I'm going to go through the circle of fourths because that's how chord progressions often progress. So I'll go to F next. It's just 2 frets down from this fifth. 1-3-5, 1-3-5. Now I did a 1-3-5 in F. Then I'll go 2 frets down to B flat. So let me review. There's E flat. See that? I'm just going down 2 frets. And this is how chord progressions work. A lot of times that's how they work. There's endless patterns. We are not even talking about fifths yet, about sevenths yet. But eventually you're going to need to go down the octave. So instead of going to A flat here, you'd go down an octave. Instead of going to G flat here, you'd go down an octave. That was all 12 keys. I know it's easier said than done, but something to work up. And in my first semester of jazz improv in college, we had to do this every day to warm up. We actually did major 7 arpeggios. C major 7, F major 7, B flat major 7. Going through all 12 keys, E flat 7. Sorry. A flat 7. I'll speed up a little bit. D flat, G flat 7 major 7, B major 7. A fourth up, E major 7. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, D major 7. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 1. John Coltrane, who's one of the most famous jazz saxophonists ever, would run all sorts of exercises in the circle of fourths. So he would play what's called a 2-5-1 in a circle of fourths. For instance, a 2-5-1 in the key of C would be D minor 7, G7, C7, more or less. So he might go. That was a 2-5-1 in the key of C. Now he'd take that up a fourth to the key of F. Now he'd go to B flat. So it would be a 2-5-1 in the key of B flat major 7 would be C minor. So I'm going to do it kind of quickly so you can hear how cool this sounds. 2, 3, 4. See? E flat. Okay, so not saying everyone needs to do that, but it's something to understand is that the best musicians of all time generally will work exercises in the circle of fourths. And you don't see a lot of YouTubers talking about that because, let's be honest, it's a little bit complicated, right? And you know, there's a chance that you'll lose some people, because if you talk about complex music theory on guitar, you know, it's not for everybody, and it's not where everyone's at. So I'm not meaning to overwhelm you or go over your head. I just want you to understand how important the circle of fourths is, because everyone talks about the circle of fifths in music theory, but the circle of fourths is where it's at as far as practicing. Let's say I wanted to practice chords in the circle of fourths. All right, I'm going to do C major. The fourth of C is F, F major. Fourth of F is B flat, etc. E flat. Next is A flat, D flat, G flat, B, E, A, D, G, and finally C. Believe it or not, I just played 12 major chords, right? So it's not like you're gonna see, you know, amazing results instantly, but if you do this every day for 5-10 minutes, after a couple weeks, you're gonna see, wow, I'm seeing how all 12 keys can be played on the guitar. Because we don't want to just be only limited to, you know, like the keys that we're comfortable with. You want to basically branch out. You want to take the time to understand how all 12 keys can be played on the guitar. Ruchi, any tips for remembering all the modes, all the notes? Any tips? Yeah, my tip is to really focus on the major scale and the key. Okay. I was just watching a great video by Rick Beato. I'm not sure if you guys know him, but he does a really good job at also explaining music theory. But he was talking about how you really want to get comfortable with the key. Okay, so, and I can't agree more. Meaning, if you want to learn all the notes, every single note everywhere, might be a little overwhelming. So what you want to do is say, I'm going to play C major, the key of C major all over. Memorize 1 through 7 everywhere, and notice that it's all natural notes. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. The next thing I would recommend, Ruchi, would be, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, I'm sorry if I'm not. The next thing would be to really get your octaves really down, okay? So meaning, if I have C's all over the fretboard, what are the ways that you're accessing those? My private students, the first lesson, we do a lesson on that. And it's pretty huge, because if you can do that, then all of a sudden, any note you're ever at, if you say, what note is that? You can walk it back down to the octave. C. Or C. And you really want to memorize the first 7 frets, 6th and 5th strings to start. Okay? Why? Because this is low E, and the 7th fret, 5th string is the next E up. So now we've got all 12 notes in the 7 frets of the 6th and 5th strings. Then you can take your octave trick. 2 frets, 2 strings is the next E. When we cross over to the 2nd string, we have to add a fret because of the way the guitar is tuned, so then it would be 3 frets. All right, now I do have a gig today, so I have to be careful. I probably should go soon. So hopefully that answers your question. And Julia, I'm glad these are good exercises. I could talk all day. I could talk for hours about the circle of fifths, but I'm going to restrain myself because I do need to eat breakfast and get to this gig here pretty soon. But my goal is to, to help this theory process along for you and to demystify the guitar. The guitar is very hard to visualize everything, so you want to start with the major scale. Identify 1 through 7 scale degrees. There's only 7 notes in a major scale. Identify the octaves. Identify the 5 positions. Then when you go to a different key, identify the key signature. So if you're in the key of G, identify the F sharp because it's a half step away from the root. Easier said than done. We'll play one more song. Let's see. Play an original. My voice is a little out today. I apologize. I'm not sure why. I did get the vaccine 2 days ago. I'm not sure if it's because of that. Ruchi says, thank you very much, and you do pronounce my name correctly. Good, good. Rocket, what can we expect on your Patreon? Well, what you can expect is I have over 50 tabs of the lessons that I've taught. So if you've seen my videos and my lessons, and it says download the tab at, there will be a tab for that lesson on the Patreon. There's over 50 now. So that's strumming patterns, all the chords, all the riffs written in tablature and in standard music notation. I'm getting more and more exercises up. I'm getting arpeggio exercises up, music theory lessons up there. As soon as I get a little more time, I'm gonna put like actual courses on there a little bit. But yeah, mostly songs. I would say 85% of the tabs are just songs, whether it's Helplessly Hoping or Going to California or Hotel California or Landslide, right? Blackbird. So those tabs are all up there for your convenience if you'd like. So one more song. This is an original of mine called Grateful I'm Alive. Grateful I'm alive. It's all I can do just to not feel blue. In a flash I can see there's a tapestry and it lives underneath. Grateful I'm alive for one more day and it's still with you. In a flash I can see something happening with the grace of knowing why. Grateful I'm alive. When the rain came, it poured on my head like a gutter drain, and it pushed me down to the muddy ground with the water all around. And the sun dried me out, and I hung in the clouds and I couldn't get down. So I changed my name, played my music loud, and then the sky revealed why. Grateful I'm alive. I'm not known for staying clear from harm, I guess, and I'm amazed that I'm alright. So I won't take for granted being here with you, through war and peace and in between. I'm grateful I'm alive. It's all I can do just to not feel blue. In a flash I can see there's a tapestry and it lives underneath. Grateful I'm alive for one more day and it's still brand new. In a flash I can see something happening like the grace of knowing why. Grateful I'm alive. What the day brought, I was torn from my roots, oh, I was feeling lost. And it pushed me down to the muddy ground like a seed growing out. And then I suddenly sprout. I was new to the town, spitting dirt from my mouth. When I cleaned up, I was looking for luck, and then the ground revealed why. I'm grateful I'm alive. I'm not known for staying clear from harm, I guess, and I'm amazed that I'm alright. So I won't take for granted being here with you, also get answers from the master. Thanks. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Yeah, I communicate with people on Patreon, and I can take requests a lot quicker. If there's any song you want a tab for, I generally do it if you're a patron. Okay. I think Patreon is worth it. You can leave. Yeah, thanks, Julia. Yeah, it's true. And you don't get charged for the first of the month. So a lot of people just join for free, download the tab, and leave, which, that's okay. Honestly, it's as long as you're enjoying the content. But it would be nice if people did stay for at least until the first of the month, so they can pay their $2. But just throwing that out there that you're not getting charged until the first of the month. So do whatever you got to do. Jesse, hey, I'm late to the stream. Could you explain fifths on guitar? And thanks, Julia, for the thumbs up. Well, Jesse, I do have a tab. I do have a gig today that I have to get to, so I'm going to be signing off soon. So you can rewind this stream, and you can get that fifths explanation. No, that's stealing. Yeah. I mean, I don't recommend just getting the tab and then leaving. So hopefully you can. So thanks, Julia. So to answer your question, Jesse, this video will post in about 12 hours, and you can rewind this stream that's here. But to quickly tell you, Jesse, the circle of fifths works as adding a sharp with the letter below every time. So C, no sharps. G, one sharp, add an F sharp. D, add C sharp, because it's the letter below D. Okay. A, add G sharp, because it's the letter below A. Very oversimplified, but that's right. So your homework is to practice the circle of fifths and the circle of fourths by finding the fifths and fourths on the guitar and then viewing that as your home key. So start with C, always start with C for now. Then go to G, add an F sharp, play your major scales, notice the F sharp. Or go to F in the circle of fourths and add a B flat. And do arpeggios maybe. So 1, 3, 5. 1, 3, 5. That would be circle of fourths. Right? And then do circle of fifths. 1, 3, 5. 1, 3, 5. 1, 3, 5. Right? Easier said than done. So hopefully everyone has a wonderful weekend. I'm going to eat some breakfast and get to a gig. I'm actually playing bass, and I have some surprises for you all. I want to share some stuff with you soon, so I will be doing that. And I'm also going to be doing a little bit more organized, edited videos, not live streams where I break down some music theory. So look for that, and every thumbs up really helps. Every subscriber really helps, and Patreon helps. And other than that, just I feel lucky and grateful that I get to share music with you all. So hopefully that's something that's nice for you as well. The more I do this, the better, right? Is my opinion. So I'm just going to try to keep churning out the content for you, and just always feel free to check in and let me know how you're doing. All right. So, happy practicing, happy jamming, and remember to have fun playing music, and we'll see you next time, everybody. Bye.